No George tonight?
No.
No. Sure he does. All right, good evening. Welcome to the Thursday, July 13th, 2023 Planning Commission meeting for the City of South Haven. I'll call the meeting to order. And Luke, if you'd crack on with the roll, mate.
Clark Gruber,
Here.
Larry Heinig,
Here.
Darrell Williams,
Here.
Michael Neese,
Here.
Amy Nichols,
Here.
Bob Sherman,
Here.
George Sleeper, Janice Varney,
Here.
Tim Stegman.
Here. Next up, we'll have the approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Next up, the June 1st regular meeting minutes.
I move that we approve the June 1st regular meeting minutes. Support.
It's been moved and supported to approve the June 1st, 2023 regular meeting minutes. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Next up is public comment, but before we get to that, Kelly, why don't you introduce our new planning commissioner?
Yes, Bob Sherman is our newest member of the Planning Commission, and thank you for being here tonight. Is there anything, I would hesitate to say more about him since he's here and could say more about himself.
Just pleased to be here. Look forward to working with everybody. I'll try to be a good listener and do my homework and participate as best I can. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Bob has been a member of the Parks Commission previously, is that correct?
Correct.
Are you still on the Parks Commission?
No, no.
Okay.
All right, very good. We'll move on. Public comment. So citizens in the audience may address the planning commission regarding items on the agenda for which there is no scheduled public hearing. So item 5, we have a public hearing. And that's it. 6 and 7, we do not.
And 9.
And 9. Does anybody wish to speak?
Mary Hasley, 726 North Shore Drive. As many of you know, I'm running for Ward 3 City Council, and I am here with regard to specifically the zoning ordinance comprehensive update. I did send an email with a few comments on each item that has been presented to that subcommittee thus far. I have previously written with more detailed comments. As it's quite clear from my communications, I have challenged the process that has been taken for this. I have not agreed that marked up text cannot be provided at the time of review for final review or initial review. The responses to those comments is it's only draft text right now, but the minutes infer that those proposed changes are what will be coming forward. Is there something funny, Mr. Gruber?
I can hear breathing, and I wanted to make sure that my microphone was moved away.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, as I have said before, is there a joke that I'm missing? There's a lot of...
No, I believe it was my microphone I was breathing close into.
Got it.
Sorry.
Thank you. So, the comprehensive plan is a huge rewrite, and in more than one occasion, it's actually an amendment. It's substantively changing it. It has, for unclassified use, extracted the review by the ZBA and placed it clearly only in the Planning Commission, whereas before, a recommendation from the Planning Commission would go to the ZBA. The ZBA is the authority to review and interpret our ordinances, not the Planning Commission. So that's one substantive change that's being implemented or proposed for implementation or being discussed in this recodification, which exceeds really the authority for recodification, which is to simply make things more easily readable and understandable, not substantively changing who does what. And also, I just want to make this commission aware that my communications are shared with others. I have shared them, and many people support my concerns. It's not just a handful. It's a lot of registered voters. And we just really want to ensure that this process is clear and that it does take into consideration concerns from registered voters. I appreciate that there's a resident on the committee. I do not believe that resident has ever been to a planning commission meeting. I've not heard her speak. I've not seen her name. And attempts to have input on it are met with resistance as opposed to open arms. And it's just very unfortunate that at a time when there is such disagreement among residents, or I should say frustration among residents about our voices not being heard, I hope that the Planning Commission takes that in account during the review, and more importantly, for these substantive changes requires marked up changes. I provided a draft of one section. It was quite easy to do a markup. It really is not that difficult if the staff is willing to do it, and I would be more than happy to assist with that, considering the amount of time I've spent going over the minutes, the proposed draft changes, and the current zoning ordinance. I thank you for your service. I look forward to your transparent review and consideration of everybody's comments. Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none, I'll go through my comment log. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 comments we received this month. First one is Elaine Herbert, 712, desire for ZBA to interpret STR ordinance. Mary Hosley, 711, zoning ordinance comprehensive update. Mary Hosley, 7-3, Fire Pit Subcommittee. Mary Hosley, 6:30, building height. Elaine Herbert, 6:28, desire for ZBA to interpret STR ordinance. Elaine Herbert, 6:26, desire for ZBA to interpret STR ordinance. Dan Agnello, 6:26, issues with personal STRs. Dan Agnello, 6:12, inability to appeal PUD waivers, conditions to ZBA. Elaine Herbert, 7:12, STR certificates. Dan Agnello, 7:12, requesting STR changes. And Dan Agnello, 7:13, property-specific STR issues. I think that's all of them. Do we, any more that anybody can think of? No. Okay. Next, we'll go to unfinished business, actionable duties of the Harbor Commission, proposed ordinance text amendments, and the public hearing. Kelly?
Sure. So tonight, we are looking once again at proposed text amendments related to waterfront lot development and duties of the Harbor Commission. We have discussed this text over the course of the previous 2 meetings. And as you may remember, members of the Harbor Commission requested this amendment to clarify the types of projects that they would review in order to eliminate the need for the Harbor Commission to review small projects like pools and decks. But the Harbor Commission would continue to review larger, more significant waterfront projects. So we need to conduct a public hearing tonight, and if you all are ready, take action to send these amendments to City Council.
Okay. Does the commission have any questions for staff at this time? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to open a public hearing.
I'll make a motion to open a public hearing.
Second.
It's been moved and supported to open a public hearing. Any other comment? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Public hearing's open. Anybody like to speak on this item? Seeing none, I'll entertain the motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move we close the public hearing on the ordinance amendment for duties of the Harbor Commission.
Second.
It's Been moved and supported to close the public hearing. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Public hearing is closed. Unless there's any questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the ordinance amendments for the duties of the Harbor Commission and forward them along to the City Council recommending approval.
Second.
It's been moved and supported. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Next up, new business. Item 6, 412, 414, 416 Phoenix Street Consumers Credit Union Project, site plan approval and extension. This is Kelly?
Yes. This request is for an extension of the site plan that was approved for what was 412, 414, and 416 Phoenix is now known as 412 Phoenix for the Consumers Credit Union project. This is a multi-use commercial and residential project that you all approved last July. Since then, staff has worked with the project team to address the approval conditions that were placed on the motion, and you have some updated plans in your packet. Those were provided really just as an informational piece. There's no action needed on those plans. They've been sent to engineering for review. The applicant is here tonight. As you've seen in the request in your packet, they've had some supply chain delays and they've been unable to start construction. Their site plan has expired. The approval on the site plan has expired, and so they are seeking a 12-month extension so that they can continue progressing and start construction early next year.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for staff from commissioners?
I guess just, when did the prior approval, when did it end? I mean, what was the end date of the first
About
approval?
4 days ago.
Right. It was at the July meeting last year,
So
1
we're
year
not
ago.
talking a month delay or whatever it's.
And we did receive the request. The ordinance now states the request needs to be made 30 days in advance. The request was timely.
Okay, that was my concern.
The request from consumers for the extension.
Yeah,
Was-
that was gonna be my next question. So, I'll entertain a motion.
So this would not necessarily be a motion for approval of site plan, but extension.
Extension.
Extension of the
Extension, yes.
approval.
The request is for a year,
A year, 12 months.
and without a motion on the floor, I'll just say what my discussion point was gonna be is maybe it should be clawed back 6 to 9 months.
Well, let's listen to
No
that.
further than May of next year.
It would be great to hear from the team then to see where they may be, to find out if 9 months is better than 6 months. I want them to be successful at the same time. I understand, year to year to year to year is,
Well, and I say that because we don't need construction in that area of the downtown after May.
I'd like to hear from that
All right.
first to
That's
make
what
sure
we'll
from a
request.
timing, because I do want to get that out on the table for you.
Good evening. I'm Cindy McDonald. I'm with Consumers Credit Union. To address your comment, the reason we are asking is because currently we're running into supply chain issues. One instance is we ordered electrical gear roughly 15 months ago. We still have not received it. So in order to prepare this project and be ready to break construction and things, we're going to pre-order everything and make sure equipment and things are on site. This will enhance the schedule So construction during the summer is not crazy or that it slows down. Another problem we all know is labor shortage. Trying to get the trades lined up and things like this. They'll start, they'll stop. Things are just a little bit crazy right now. And then also when you come to just the market and inflation and things, we were looking at doing this project this year. We took a step back. Things are very unsettled coming out of COVID, shortage, inflation, things like this. So we were not overly, didn't want to commit at this moment. We do want to commit to start this project in 2024. Right now, we are planning on starting construction as soon as the frost comes out, so we're thinking like March. But construction will go through the summer. The building we're proposing, the schedule is probably about 18 months. But ideally, what we would do is bring the building out of the ground, get it fully enclosed, make it look great during the summer, and do the interior finishes and things like this during the summer, fall, and get it ready to open in 2025.
So you're looking at approximately 18 months after, so it's probably 2 summers going by.
It could, yes. Ideally, we would have everything lined up to go faster. But with things the way they've been going, I just finished a project. It went roughly 18 months. It was supposed to be a 12-month project. We couldn't get the gear. We had to take a step back. We redesigned all the electrical gear. Then you have to order, it's another 2 months. I can't say it won't go 2 summers, I can't say it will.
So, and the electrical gear you said that you had ordered, that was for another project, not for
Correct.
this project?
This project, we are working through things right now. If we know we get the extension, drawings are almost ready. We can start bringing our trades together. We have already brought on our construction management crew. We sat down, went through a schedule, looked at long lead items. We would be ordering those as soon as we can, probably early fall, and make sure we get them on the site. Too early, we have to store them, which is very hard on a tight site. Too late, we're waiting on them. So it's always that trick.
Okay, so 6 months might be a little light to be able to get going.
6 months would be very light, because if we take 6 months now, that means we're starting right around Christmas.
Yeah, and frost.
Weather, it's very hard to come out of the ground when you're pouring concrete and brick. Winter conditions are not always ideal. You have to temper bricks in order to put them up and things. We all know South Haven sometimes gets some very rough weather. That would stop the project, which we don't want to do. We would rather wait February, March, when the frost comes out and we're good with the weather, to hit the ground running.
Okay.
I just want to clarify, make sure I've heard correctly. I heard 2 criteria, I think.
Okay,
First criteria being the supply chain issue and labor.
yes,
But then the second one sounded like you made an economic decision.
we did.
So my question would be, did you hesitate to order that equipment based on that economic decision you made?
We have, at this moment, we are reviewing the drawings and seeing what we need. I'm hoping some of the equipment that I currently have ordered will work for this one. We're kind of shifting things around and trying to get things lined up. I have 2 other projects breaking ground next month, so you can see we're moving a lot of marbles here.
All right, any other questions? No? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So we understand how this extension works. It's the project start by date, correct? Okay, so if we were to say April, which is 9 months, project would have to be started by April. If not, then they would have to do another extension.
Right now, the ordinance provides for up to, an extension of up to 12 months.
What if the project's gonna be started in February when the frost is out of the ground supposedly, then?
Once they start,
That would be
then,
March, April, so 9 months.
Right.
So 9 months is plenty.
right.
And if they didn't start, they'd have to come in, but they could only ask for 3 more months,
Which is fine.
which is fine. So I think a 9-month might be better than a 3-month, or a 6-month.
Sure. Identify yourself, though.
Used to this. I'm Nick Lukes. I work for Bosch Architecture. We're the engineer architect on the project. My only concern is 9 months from today is April 13th. If we have a really bad winter, I'm concerned about frost coming out, and with the adjacent to the buildings on either side, if we're starting digging in the ground, and I know this was a concern when we were here last time, is the effect on the adjacent buildings. If there's still some frost in the ground come April 13th, there might be an issue to say, hey, we can't start digging right now. So I fully understand where you're coming from, and I think they fully intend to start by that time, but the 12-month extension, I think, would give, or even a 10-month extension would give a little leeway as far as, I've seen frost in the ground until mid to late April around here, so depending on how bad the winter is. So that's my main concern with the 9-month extension and the timing, because we still are in early April, 9 months from today.
Okay, thank you. So what is staff's discussions about this project going through the summer months as a full-blown construction project in that area of the downtown?
I think there would have to be some effort at construction management that we would work through with their project team. It would involve the Public Works Department and whatever capacity was needed. Obviously, not ideal to have sidewalk closures, road closures. We would try to avoid that type of activity
We
during
don't
the
want
summer
any.
months.
We don't
Right.
even want to just avoid them. We don't want them.
Right, but to say that we want to avoid all construction at all costs, I think for large projects in the downtown might not be reasonable.
It's a 3-month window. And we can't afford to have Phoenix blocked.
Right,
Just can't.
right. We don't want the street closed. We don't want the sidewalk closed during the summer months.
So
But to
how's staff prepared to carry that out?
I feel like that's not something I can answer immediately, except to say that we would work with the applicant and the Public Works team on their scheduling and work through that as they are closer to construction.
Because that's my hesitation for approval for any further length of time. I would hope the project skeleton would be up and running before we hit that milestone.
Right.
Yeah, but even if they potentially started the project in April, they may still have the heavy equipment and issues come summer.
Not for that small
Okay,
a piece of property, from what I've seen from other constructions.
Okay.
That I've been involved with myself.
Okay.
I don't think we're gaining much by changing it from 12 down to 9 months. They're going to get started on this just as soon as they can, and if the weather doesn't allow them to start in April, they'll have to come back and get another extension. And why bother with that? Let's set it at 12, and they'll be at it just as fast as they can.
Because I'd be less likely to grant the extension for 3 months in the peak season of that area of the downtown. That's why.
so then the project might die if they're ready and get everything ordered and ready to start, and it's a frost issue?
Or push till fall, early fall.
I understand it was an economic decision that was made not to start last year. And so therefore, nothing was ordered in terms of, I understand the delivery piece being held up, but I was wondering if anything has been ordered. I know we have some beautiful plans, and we approved the project a year ago, and I was just wondering, other than the plans, what has been done to move the project forward?
We have worked with the city of South Haven to get the transformer ordered. It will be in by the end of this year to look at gas lines, electrical lines. We have worked with them. We have decided where we're going to go, so when we hit the ground, we can be running. Long lead items like the transformer and things like this, a lot of times are 15 months. So we have some of the bigger things already on order and ready to go. So we are currently working through that.
So my thought is either the project starts by April or it start by after Labor Day. That's what my thought is. Just because of the area it's located in. So can we accommodate that? Or I ask you?
We would be open to it. Ideally, we want to start, in the spring of 2024. Weather-wise, we will do our best, but you just don't know. And we understand your concerns about Phoenix. We have talked through with our construction management crew. We definitely won't close Phoenix. We definitely understand that. Put fencing up there, make it look beautiful, put whatever you want so they can't see into the site ugliness. On the back road, on the back of it, that may be a little tougher. We're going to have to bring the tree down. It's a very tight site. We're building from corner to corner. We're going to have some place to go with a job trailer, unload, load, all of this kind of stuff. So on the street that is just south of Phoenix, it may be closed sometimes, just because of logistics.
Well, let me ask, do you have an off-site laydown area?
An off-site?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Where are you putting all your building material? Or do you plan on holding on site?
We're trying to put as much on site as we can. We're working through that right now because we have a lot of stuff to come on site. On demand is what we're trying to do. We are looking for a storage place or something outside of downtown here in South Haven that we can store. When we need it on site, we would bring it back and forth. Takes time. Yep.
All right. Any other questions while she's up here?
I have a question for you, Kelly. How many extensions can a person have? 12-month extensions?
Well, as you know, this provision is new in the zoning ordinance. So the provision reads that an extension of up to 12 months may be granted by the Planning Commission at its discretion if the Planning Commission finds that, and there is criteria that was in your packet, so I won't read that. If no action is taken to initiate substantial construction after the expiration of the initial approval period or extension, the site plan approval shall expire and a new approval shall be required.
So there's really
So
two
one-
issues here. I mean,
12 month.
if it does expire, then that means they'd have to apply again. It doesn't mean the
That's right.
project's dead. They'd have to go back through the process again. Of course, that's something that we'd like to avoid as well. But I tend to agree with Tim. I think the idea of interrupting the traffic behind the building, trying to get into Taste right now and finding parking spots pretty tough. You take away the parking on that street because it's full of construction equipment during season time, I think is asking a lot from the rest of the downtown businesses to endure.
But we'd be right there now had they started their project. None of that would have changed had they started their project.
That's very true, because we would have started this year in March, and we would have be doing that right now.
So we knew that going in. So I'm wondering if I could do a 9-month extension with an additional 3 months starting in September. Would that be, do you think I could put that together for a total of 12 months?
Basically, what
No,
we're saying
we're giving
is-
you the 12, we're just jumping over the summer for a start.
Yes.
Basically, what
understand
we're
that.
saying is start the project by April.
Okay,
If you don't get it started by April, then don't bother till after Labor Day.
okay.
That's what we're saying.
That'll work great for us if you guys want to approve it. Yes,
Yeah,
we can
we-
easily work with you on that.
I think the hard part's trying to put together the motion. But
Larry.
I think that's kind of where we would be looking at. Then they don't have to come back twice. And at the same time, we've alleviated at least a summer start. Once they get going, there's not a lot we can do. But if we can't get in the next 9 months, then you've got another 33-month window.
Correct. We had 3
Okay.
or 4 more months to get prepared and hit the site running.
And what we're trying to do is have staff avoid a bunch of calls from the business owners downtown complaining.
Exactly.
And that's what happens every time one of these downtown projects starts.
And there's just going to be that big push in the beginning, and then after that, it's more regulated and constant.
Yeah, and you have demolition as well with this project, correct?
Yes, we do.
And so we're concerned about that as well with vibrations and et cetera.
Correct. We are very close to the other buildings. We have checked them out, and we are currently working with the owners
Okay,
based on what we have seen.
all right, very good.
I have a question. So I guess, why wasn't this considered like a two-stage process? So to me, it sounds like we want to, one, avoid the rush of the summer months, and we don't want to impact our merchants and our, the people that come into South Haven, and our residents, of course. But then we also have the winter and the frost line. Why can't you do this process in a two-stage process to say, okay, with the demo and the removal of the tree, why don't we take care of that toward the fall of the year? And then you take your pause for winter, and we have our fingers crossed, and then you can come back in April, and we, hope that the frost is no longer there, and you can start your process. To me, that would seem, it's like the best of both worlds, because now you're not wasting your time in the beginning of the year in April, when you could take care of your demo, get that site ready, and have it set to start in April, versus now you're sort of starting from ground zero in April.
We actually discussed that option. We went over it. A couple of things that come up. When we mobilize, we will bring people on. We will have to fence everything off. We could pull the building out and all of that, but the site would not be accessible to anyone. We would have to leave the construction fencing up. There's liability that someone could get hurt or things like this. South Haven would not be able to use it as parking, which they currently are. Demo and things like that don't take as long. Some of that stuff can be done when we know frost is coming out. We can prep, you can pull a tree out, you can pull the roots, we can bring the building down. We just have to be careful when we start digging and things like this, that the frost is out. Because when the frost comes out, buildings can move or things like this. The rest of it, you can do before most of the frost is out.
One thing that I would ask, though, during the pause is that you, and you indicated you would do this, make that site that's showing to the Phoenix looking good. We have a few projects in town that haven't done that, and it's disconcerting.
Yes, we try to do that. We always try to beautify the communities we go into. We support them. If there's things you want on it, communicate things to members, or it's always, we kind of promote ourselves on them too.
Okay, anything else? All right, thank you.
Thanks.
I can attempt this.
Sure.
How about this, make a motion to approve a 9-month extension of the Consumer Credit Union site plan approval for 412, 414, and 416 Phoenix Street, with an additional 3-month extension beginning
September 1.
September 1, 2024.
Is there support?
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any other discussion? Good motion. I like that one.
I was going to go with Labor Day, but I like September 1.
Yeah. And Daryl, you have a future in project management. Any other discussion? No. Seeing none, Luke, why don't we do a roll?
Fawney,
Yes.
Gruber,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Heinig,
Yes.
Neese,
Yes?
Nichols,
Yes.
Sherman,
Yes.
Stegman.
Yes. Okay. All right, good luck with your project. Stay if you want, or go if you want. All right, item 7, under new business, 1600 Steve Drive, East Jordan Plastics, site plan review. Is this you, Kelly, or Brad?
Sure, maybe it will end up being a little bit of both.
Okay.
If you're willing, Brad. So this project is a request for an expansion to the existing parking lot at East Jordan Plastics at their Stevie Drive location. The parcel is just over 10 acres in the light industrial district. This application does not include any changes to the building itself or access to the site, but would add about 28,652 square feet of asphalt and 38 new parking spaces. So in the staff report, we made note of some screening and landscaping that would be needed to bring the property into compliance with the zoning ordinance as a part of this project. Specifically, there are residential uses to the west and northwest, and there is outdoor storage on the site. And if I bring up the staff report, you can see that. Around the west and north of the site. And typically, we do require screening when industrial properties abut residential, which would be here to the west and the northwest corner here, and we also require screening for outdoor storage. So the zoning ordinance also has some green space and tree or shrub planting requirements for industrial properties, in addition to the canopy trees that we require for the parking lot. The applicants are here. There are representatives here from East Jordan. They are seeking a waiver from these landscaping requirements, so this is something that you all will want to make sure to discuss with them this evening. There's no public hearing needed tonight. This is site plan review. So Brad has helped with this report, and he and I can be available to answer questions as well as the applicants.
Okay, so they're requesting waiver of the screening?
Yes.
All right.
All of the landscaping, are we talking about the trees, the shrubs, the
That was my
fencing?
understanding, based on the letter that was provided.
Yep, okay.
Was the outdoor storage, sorry, Kelly,
Sorry
but
about that.
as I
Yep.
recall, the outdoor storage when I was over there was on the northeast side of the building, is that correct? The outdoor storage runs along the trail?
There is some along the trail. I have that aerial. I don't know if I can make that any bigger. A little bit
Right where
here
your
on
hand
this
is
side.
there, that's where the outdoor storage
Yeah,
is,
there's some
correct?
mechanical equipment there.
I have
and
a little better picture there. I think it's the same picture,
Okay.
just blown up a little
Just a
bigger.
little bit larger.
Oh, so there is also storage.
It's mostly on the north side of the building, but because it comes to the edge of the building, it is a little bit on the east side.
The north and northwest side of the building have large bales of plastic materials.
Yes.
Big 5-foot square, probably, bales of materials.
That's on the northeast side as well, I believe. You want to run
I
past there.
believe so.
It comes and goes depending on, what's happening.
The new parking would be in the south side of the building, southeast and southwest side of the building.
And again, I only asked that question in regards to the screening, because it's,
Well, we need to look at page 60, item 9. I would tend to agree with the first paragraph that islands aren't needed. And all the points made regarding snow removal, et cetera, I find accurate.
I also want to just point out that the letter does use the word variance. We're not talking about variances here. Variances go before the Zoning Board of Appeals. We were talking about waivers.
However, we do have residential property if we go back to the map. And what's the orientation here? North?
Yep.
So north,
Top.
west?
The residential property is to the west here where it's wooded. And additionally, this north,
Yeah, northwest
corner.
corner.
That's the substation directly to the north, right? That's where the substation is.
Now, I see about the plantings and the islands, but do I see anything with regards to, like, fencing? I don't see,
And you can see the one residential property, they planted some, looks like evergreens
yeah,
to screen their backyard from the industrial. That was nice of them. So that's gonna be the area of concern we're gonna need to discuss is the northwest corner, for sure.
Right.
And part of the west. All right, so where do we need to go from here? We Need a motion of some sort, or do you wanna discuss?
Want to hear from the,
And we can hear from the applicant as well, yes, good idea. So if the applicant like to come up to the podium, just tell us who you are and about your project.
I'm Eric Salisbury. I'm the plant manager of the East Jordan Plastics facility. This is Sean DeYoung. He's another manager at the facility too.
And what do you guys do there?
So basically, what you see in the storage there is plastic. We make horticulture pots and trays for the horticulture industry. A part of that is all of our raw material, or most of our raw material, is recycled. So we get recycled material back, and we either purchase it from our users when they're done with it, or from other sources, and recycle that right back into plastic, which we make into pots and trays. We're recycling not just for our facility, but East Jordan Plastics Corporation has 3 plants, and we recycle for all 3 plants.
And you employ how many people in South Haven?
About 125 people.
Yeah, very good. Okay, just a little bit in case nobody up here knew exactly what you did. All right, so go on, tell us what you're planning.
That's Sean DeYoung.
Make sure you use the mic, too.
Sean DeYoung, maintenance manager currently at East Jordan Plastics. This all started with trying to repair the driveway. The driveway's, the sub-foundation underneath it was not supportive of the asphalt above. Done many core samples, and in the process of deciding that we needed to redo or resurface the driveway, we also realized we needed more parking place, and that's what triggered the plan review, is that we're adding on.
Yeah, we have increased our number of employees significantly over the past year, and that's one of the driving factors in needing additional spots.
I started with East Jordan in 2011 with approximately 14 employees, so I've watched it grow to quite the size. Not quite what Noble was yet, but we're on our way there. A couple points I'd like to point out is, due to the west, it's heavily wooded, and it's relatively screened even when the leaves are off the trees there. To the north, we've got what's left, or St. Joseph Street, and it's a bit more industrial to the north. And of course, to our east is Consumers Concrete, and that's all industrial as well. So we definitely agree that the northwest corner is the most, not volatile, but be the closest area that screening may be required. But we asked for the waiver because due to the trees that are currently there. Another point to point out is we have a large amount of material on the north part of the building. We're currently building a plant in Georgia that's going to also be doing some recycling. So we look to see this backlog. Majority of this material straight north. It's been there for a few years, and it hasn't been getting cycled through. So as we bring this other plant online in approximately 1 to 1.5 more years, we'll see a big reduction of, not a large reduction, but we'll see a better ability to absorb the materials that we have. You know, we don't, it's not our intention to store this much material. So my point trying to be is, we'd hate to put up a bunch of screening that costs a significant amount of money and then not have that outside storage in about a year. In a roundabout way, that was my point.
Are there, looking at that, are there home sites currently to the west? Not to the northwest, I know that subdivision there, but if I'm looking at that map there,
Looks like 3 properties.
3 properties that look like they're fairly well removed from the site, if I'm seeing that correctly.
That's the way I see it. I'll check out St. Joe Street, and you can see some of these bales as you drive down St. Joseph Street. But that's still on this side of the woods. You know, those woods are, there's not it's not just a 20-foot piece of wooded property, right? There's some depth to it. So we feel as though it's screened quite well. Like in the summertime for sure, a little bit in the wintertime, you just can't see those other houses. So we have quoted putting fencing around the property, and it'll nearly double our driveway project.
And what about just fencing on the areas that have the storage but not the entire property?
That would reduce it.
I mean, I know that you've got the backlog, you said, of the plastics stored there on the north. So that would mean that probably the west comes in and out more often. Maybe it's a type of plastic that's easier to recycle in the plant, where that other stuff is just tougher to recycle, and that's why it's been stored there for years.
Yes, so the reason that stuff's been kind of stepped over, if you will, when we receive material from our customers, or if they're like our suppliers, we sell them the new, they use it, and we recycle the old. There's a value when the material is sorted out by different types of material, like we'll have polystyrene and polypropylene. If they bale any plastic they find in a bale, it's where that bale is mixed, then our production rate significantly drops off. It uses a lot more labor to try to sort that out. And we can only deal with that mixed material at a lower rate. So it tends to get set off to the side until we can either have the labor to deal with it, and just the sheer volume of it.
And that's why I figured there must be some reason for that. So I'm just wondering if we were to get some screening there, not the entire property, but just a portion of it there in that north and northwest corner, that might be a way to assist, because there is storage there, and we do require, I'm thinking fencing as opposed to vegetation.
So could we get some clarification, maybe from staff, about what the requirements of the screening would be?
Sure. Well, to screen for outdoor storage, the zoning ordinance requires an 8-foot fence. Is that right, Brad? Yes. And to screen against the residential parcels, fencing or landscaping is permitted by the ordinance.
And that would be 8 foot?
That's more of an opacity, well, depending on if we're talking the fencing or the landscaping. Right, I mean,
landscaping's opacity.
Right.
The
The fencing
is
can be 8 feet
100%,
tall. Yes. Right.
Right?
And again, here, the issue is line of sight from the residential areas. It's not a buffer for sound, it's not any of that. And the other issue that you brought up that we have to keep in mind, in that northwest corner, northwest corner, your explanation of that raw material that sits there, the new plant in Georgia will be built to handle that type of mixed?
It's a, I mean, yes, they can handle it, but the idea behind the site in Georgia is there'll be less material coming from our customers to the South Haven plant. And with less incoming material every year, then we would actually burn through what is on the South
Yes.
Haven site.
Yeah.
And then get to a point where we're only running what's coming in.
Yeah.
So
First
that's
and
kind of
first, yeah.
what the Georgia plant is it adds additional capacity in the whole organization, reduces the amount that South Haven has to do of new stuff that's coming in every fall.
Yes, I understand, and that makes perfect sense, but what I heard, and perhaps I didn't hear correctly, what I thought I heard said is that pile has remained there because it's not clean, basically. You're gonna have to sort through it. Correct. And
Which is what we do
anyways,
anyways.
Yeah.
So it's not that we can't run it, it's when new stuff comes off the truck, that gets run first. And then
Yeah.
when that is not there, then we start to pull from the inventory that we have in the yard.
let me ask a question a different way. Once the plant in Georgia is up and running, could we expect those piles to be diminished?
Minimized significantly. I would think, if you picture a vertical or a north to south run that's on the west side, that would be our intended storage area. Everything across the north of the building, we would prefer to not have on site.
Understood. And those bales currently, again, I'm just doing this from having observed, I didn't actually measure it, but those bales appear to be far taller than 8 feet, stacked far taller.
Yes, they are.
So an 8-foot screen is not going to be a sight barrier.
No.
My only concern is, we've just heard, like, construction delays due to, everything else, labor and price and da-da-da-da-da. And I think it's great and wonderful that in a year or a year and a half, you think you're going to have a plant up and running. But I just wonder, is Georgia Planning Commission sitting here doing the same thing? Like, we're going to need another, another
The plant-
delay?
The plant in Georgia is already built, it's enclosed, and the equipment is ordered.
Okay.
So it's not something that's going to happen, it is already happening.
My understanding with fencing between residential and industrial is to totally eliminate ingress and egress from either way.
That's a different issue, yes.
Yeah. So we got two things going
Yes,
on there.
thanks.
Okay. So after all this discussion, is there any motion that you wish to make?
I do have something that I would like to point out
Okay.
to the planning commissioners here. Our zoning ordinance is not to take care of a current problem necessarily, but it's there for the future. And we need to look at the future of those residential parcels. Those owners are paying taxes on that now. They may one day want to develop those. So we need to be looking at the zoning ordinance as a tool to protect those residential properties in their total, not just the house that's there now with the trees that are there now. They may not be there in the future.
Agreed.
Thank you, Larry.
So one way you could go about doing this is say, yes, the fencing is required at some point in the future, but for now, maybe just this point to the corner to this point, however many feet, you could approach it that way. So they don't have to put all the money up front to fence the whole thing now, but it's in there that eventually it has to be once the city deems it necessary. So it's an, right? We can do that. We've done it before.
Well, at what point would it be necessary then?
Well, just like when Larry said, if the other properties develop, those woods come out and home goes in.
I don't like that idea. If we need the screening there, eventually we need the screening there now.
Okay.
Get it done. Then we don't hold up that developer when he wants to develop. It's these people's responsibility to provide the screening. The requirement is there now. I would say the screening needs to be all along the west property line and at least halfway across the north property line, maybe even the entire north property line, depending on what my fellow commissioners think.
I'd probably be okay with half if we look at the north side. That gets over that corner, and then otherwise it's a substation.
That's what I was thinking, was half the west, half the north.
Well, the entire west side is zoned residential.
It is. But the trees are still there right now. And I was thinking we could give a temporary,
But the trees belong to the owners, they don't belong to the plant.
that's correct.
We faced this issue just recently.
We did. I'm all for the whole west side and part of the north. I think that's perfectly fine. But it's that west side and that little corner that we've held everybody else accountable to. I don't know why we wouldn't hold these guys.
May I speak?
Sure,
So
go ahead.
the plastic storage is only about half of the property on the west side?
Yes.
So the plastic storage does not go down the whole length of the west side, the plastic storage?
I see that in today's map.
But it's really not, that's not even really the issue. The issue is that it was, when it was built, it was never required to have the screening in the first place, which it should have.
And we need to correct that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all residential there. They're required to screen it, so.
But I do agree with not requiring the trees and the shrubs. And in this particular industrial property, that doesn't seem necessary to me.
Or the islands as well.
The islands,
Right.
yeah.
The screening, if I heard correctly, was for the outside storage. Is that correct?
That's correct.
They're really the two pieces. There's the screening from the outdoor storage piece and then screening against the residential properties piece.
If we look at the diagram, if we look at the map up there, where I see the blue line to the west, that to me is what I was imagining, the part that we want screened, and on the north up to, as you said, halfway, you know, because then you're going to hit the transfer station or the power station, and it's,
Not necessary.
Just line of sight from the residential.
correct.
And what is the length of that, by the way? The west,
Roughly 650, maybe 700 feet.
okay.
The whole property line?
Yeah.
Okay, not to gum things up, but
Oops, didn't do it.
where's the parking lot that we're talking about? It's,
Southwest corner.
okay,
So we see some material being stored in the southwest corner currently.
Yes.
That's going away and will become new parking lot.
so that's all going to be paved in that area there.
Yeah.
And some parking on the southeast corner as well, I believe, isn't that so?
Yes, yes.
Should we I can pull up that plan page if you need it pulled up.
Sure.
Maybe. So the portions that are in the darker gray.
You can see the proposed parking on the left and right corners.
Is vegetation screening an option at all?
Kelly, you said 80% opacity, and that's a possibility.
An advantage that I see with the vegetation screening, it's a bit more cost effective. Additionally, we will eventually gain more height than just 8 feet out of it. Even if we put up an 8-foot fence this fall.
It's always gonna be 8 feet.
We're gonna see the top 6 feet of our material.
As far as I'm concerned, the ordinance allows either. I'm not, I don't know about on the west side whether you've got the room, but if you've got the room to do it, I wouldn't put any restriction on it.
Yeah, that would be my only concern looking at your schematic, is if you put the vegetation, how much of that's gonna bleed over to your planned expansion of the parking lot, are you gonna lose? Fence line's one thing, but putting up evergreens or whatever is something entirely different. But if you could live with that, it would meet the, as Larry said, it would meet.
I just bring that up as an idea at this point. You know, we have to get back with Merit Midwest as well. And
Sure.
there's obviously, there's a power line easement that runs along the west as well.
And then, Brad, before the meeting started, I asked you about the chain link possibilities.
It's permitted for perimeter fencing
Yeah.
in an industrial area.
So they could do that with the slats and the chain link, and I think you're looking at $30 to $40 per foot, linear foot installed. So that puts you in, I don't know, $30,000 range.
I have 3 quotes to do chain link fence around the entire facility. And I want to, the number coming to mind is about 1,600 linear feet. And that was at a 12-foot height. My lowest quote was $250,000.
You can't
up
do
to-
12 foot though. You can only do 8.
Okay. Then I think at the 8-foot mark, I think it was still like $190. It was a significant cost to do chain link fence.
But that again was around the entire property.
That, yes, correct, that was around the entire
And
property.
we're talking roughly
Yeah, I understand.
less than half.
And I used to do that for a living, so.
Line me up with some good.
I probably,
contracts.
I probably
I'll tell
could.
you
I
what,
think
it set
your,
me back in my
I think
chair.
your price is a little high,
He
but.
needs a better quote.
So anyway, I think
Chairman,
we got it all discussed, and let's get a motion on the floor so we know what we're talking about.
I would make a motion that we approve the site plan of, I'm looking for the proper terminology for describing the property, 1600 Steve Boulevard, for the additional parking with the following conditions. Number 1, as contained on page 54 of our packet. Number 2, number 3, to be waived by the Planning Commission of the requirements of section 1709. Number 4, requiring an 8-foot privacy fence to be installed along the west property line and 50% of the north property line from the west. And number 5, as stated in the staff report. Did I get it all?
Yes, you did.
Got
When is the
Support.
appropriate time to ask him a question?
Gotta get the
I'm
motion.
looking for a support.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any other discussion? Go ahead, Janice.
Yes, I was just wondering in that, is it just fencing or could it be other kind, I mean,
It can be anything that the ordinance allows.
okay. All right, just wanted to clarify that.
Mhm. Anything else?
No, and you got the right, I think you got the west, and you said 50% of the north beginning from
the west.
at the west, yeah, okay.
That was tricky.
Yeah, that's true, right?
Yeah,
It is.
yeah, no, I think
see
you got it
what-
right.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, anything else? Okay. We'll do a roll call again.
Sherman,
Yes.
Varney,
Yes,
Gruber,
Yes,
Williams,
Yes.
Heinig,
Yes.
Neese,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Stegman.
Yes. Okay. Well, good luck on your project. Sorry it's not the limited version you wanted, but hopefully we can keep going with it.
Thank you very much for your time.
You're
thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you.
All right, public comment. Citizens in the audience may address the planning commission regarding items that were not on the agenda. And anybody want to address the planning commission? No? Unfinished business, none. New business, discussion, non-actionable. Number 9, zoning ordinance comprehensive update. And why don't we pull up on the overhead screen, page 63. Is this one mine, Larry?
That's yours. Yep.
All right, so as we try to do quarterly, I just wanted to provide a brief update regarding our comprehensive zoning ordinance update. Just to remind everybody, this is an effort that kicked off last July. It's hard to believe that it's been a year. It's been progressing monthly through the work of a steering committee and Williams and Works. And we want to be sure you all are updated regularly because you will obviously play an important role in the ultimate adoption of the document. Since the last update, which I think was in March, the committee has reviewed chapters on site development, parking, nonconformity, and special land uses. We are running a bit behind schedule. Some of these chapters have been a fairly big lift. I want to commend the committee for the time, effort, attention to detail with which they're really considering each chapter. We will have a meeting later this month. We anticipate beginning our review of the site plan review chapter and moving ahead from there. It's my understanding that we will be getting an updated timeline for the project schedule from Williams and Works with the next packet of materials that we get for our subcommittee meeting.
Could you repeat that?
A new timeline, project timeline.
So this will be updated?
Yes.
Okay, because that was going to be my question, if we could, since we're running behind, what's it look like now?
Yep. We're a couple months behind, a month or two, I think is probably fair. Not uncommon with a big project like this. It's been steady work. There really haven't been any delays on the part of the committee or the part of the consulting team.
Supply chain issues?
No supply chain issues for us.
Over budget.
No labor issues,
So right now, we should be on definitions, but where are we?
We've just finished our review of special land uses, so we'll be starting site plan review and some administrative chapters. We did not spend time reviewing signs specifically. The sign chapter of the zoning ordinance was updated fairly recently, 2020, 2019-ish, so there won't be as much to do there. So we did not spend a meeting discussing signs.
So, fair to say a month behind?
I think that's fair.
Okay, that's not bad.
No?
All right, any questions for Kelly regarding this?
Just remind everybody, those materials are made available through the Documents on Demand website for you to review at any time, and I'm happy to answer questions that you may have.
Okay, and Larry, you're on that committee, correct?
Yep. Larry and
What's your thoughts on the process?
I think we're doing well. George has a lot of input. Griffin and Kelly both have a lot of input on it, and Williams and Works people always come with a lot of work for us to do when we have our committee sessions. We are scheduled to meet from 1 to 3, and we usually wind up about 3:30 every time we meet. So, yeah, there's a lot going on, but I think it's going well.
How do we imagine, I know it's looking forward in the future, but how do we imagine the planning commission reviews going to roll out? I mean, as long as it's taking you to do the original, you can double that time for the discussion we're gonna have, I think.
Yes.
Could I answer your question? Andy has budgeted for that in the updated timeline. I told him flat out today, I said that planning commission review in front of the public is going to be a lot more than just 1 month or one 2 meetings.
And Brad, I imagine it'll be chunked, somewhat similar to the chunks that you have here?
Yes, but
Not
it
gonna
will be a complete document.
The whole thing at once?
I'm guessing 4 to 6 months,
Yeah, me too.
so. All right. Anything else? No? Then let's move on to commission member and staff comments. Kelly?
Just want to welcome Bob one more time.
I
Thank you.
have no comments except to say I'm just glad to be part of the group and hope I'll be able to contribute and look forward to working with you all.
Thanks, thank you. I want to let everyone know that we were notified today that our application for the state high water infrastructure grant program for our shoreline assessment project was approved. This is a project that we discussed last November, I believe. We would work with Edgewater Resources to conduct an analysis of Lake Michigan shoreline on both the north and south sides of the river. And this hopefully will lead to some improved guidance for physical development along our shoreline. Total project cost was estimated in the $52,000 range, and the grant was 80% funded. So we're looking forward to that project.
And we already have an ad hoc committee for that, correct?
Yes, we do.
And you're on it, right? Who else?
Amy.
Amy and Larry, okay.
So
So you guys got money to figure things out?
But we won't be receiving any of
Any
that
of it.
money, none of that money
None
will
of
go. Sometimes to a lot of people,
Give
you
your
have to
time
make that
away.
aware.
I can also let you know that the fire pit subcommittee met last week, and we anticipate bringing their recommendations forward to the full group
Next month,
next month.
okay. That it?
That's it from me.
Brad, anything?
No
Life's good
comments.
in Grand Rapids?
What's that?
Life's good in Grand Rapids?
It's full of construction.
Excellent.
So no.
Luke, anything?
No. Actually, it was really refreshing, it was strangely refreshing to hear the word styrofoam tonight, or sorry, polystyrene. He said polystyrene, which is what we say in the UK, but here we all say styrofoam. So I heard that and I was like, oh. So,
Felt at home, huh?
All right.
Well, shag.
Okay, where'd we start last meeting? I don't remember. I do. I should have a chart, but we'll start with our new member, Bob.
I have no comments.
No comments? Okay. Amy?
First of all, welcome, Bob. Super excited to have you here. My comments are a bit of a Debbie Downer, though, and I hate to say this, but I'm going to do it anyways, because I wrote them out ahead of time, and I had consultants on this. So I just would like to express, like, my disappointment in City Council in the fact that we worked for 10 months here on a recommendation that we sent to them, and it was not easy. I can't tell you how many meetings and discussions that we had as a group, and it took us a little while, I will give you that. But for them to not even debate it or vote on it, to just let it sit there, I found very disheartening, and I stand really disappointed in our city council right now in the process.
That's it?
That's it, sorry. Oh,
Okay.
End of rant, sorry.
All right.
I'm not going to say anything behind that.
Should have warned you.
Just ditto?
Just ditto.
A couple of things, I have got a lot of emails recently on desires to interpret, ZBA, on STR. I read those at some point in our life, it's good information to know, but right now there's nothing actionable, nothing we can do enforcement-wise, nothing's on our docket. Just so those that keep sending us stuff are aware. Just as a side note, East Jordan Plastics recycles plastics, and Revere here in town makes machines that recycle water. So recycling is kind of big in South Haven. And it's good to see Luke. We see Luke here. And he's part of the building department, and if you go in and put applications in, he will talk with you. He's been out and about learning additional skills as well out on sites, so that is really good to see. And additionally, I hope in the future, if I work on something for City Council, which I enjoy doing, take some kind of action, up or down vote. Even saying no to a recommendation would have been awesome. Thank you.
Welcome, Bob.
Thank you.
Sorry. I'm having trouble knowing how close to be to this microphone tonight.
I apologize.
Sometimes it's biting back at me. Welcome, Bob. We'll do our best to educate you and take you on a fun ride.
Appreciate that.
That's the only comment I have tonight.
Bob, I look forward to getting to meet you and working with you as well. So welcome.
Thank you very much.
I also want to take this time to thank the city, the police, the volunteers, the nonprofits for a great 4th of July. It just went so smoothly in so many different ways. And I know our company certainly enjoyed it. We enjoyed it as living here. And the town was really buzzing, but, it was really pretty magical how it all fell out, and we all appreciate the hard work that went into making that happen.
Welcome, Bob.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for offering to serve. I think you'll find we have a good time, but we pride ourselves on the length of our meetings. So work that into your schedule.
That's an understatement.
You really don't have plans after this.
Yeah. And Larry, I feel so fortunate to work with you on this commission, and for the reminder that we are a planning commission, not a problem-solving commission. And we need to make sure that we do our best to get involved at the beginning and not at the correction of things that went awry. So thank you for that reminder. And thanks, staff, and thanks, Brad, for putting that all together for us.
Very good. So, welcome, Bob. Probably the one piece of advice I can give you right now is to get ready to do a dry read of the Code of Ordinances. You should do that for going forward. Some memory recall will probably help you a lot throughout this process.
Will indeed.
Amy, you made some good points. It is disappointing when we spend a lot of time in city council, just doesn't verbalize anything on something. So And being we're all volunteers and you spend the time on it, I won't say it hurts, but it's understandable that you, don't have a good feeling towards with that. Other than that, locker project, where we at?
We are continuing to work with the project team, and I am hopeful that we will have final plans ready for a meeting in the fall.
Okay, very good. Anything else I'm missing? I think we hit our subcommittees, locker project. I don't think there was anything else out there, is there?
Can I mention one thing for Bob?
Yeah.
Bob, the one thing that I found really helpful, and if you're interested in that citizen planner course offered by the extension,
Yeah.
is absolutely
Kelly tagged me
fabulous.
with that, so I'll be looking at that for sure.
I wished I had done it day one, and I did not, so.
Thanks.
And then coming up, any highlights? What do we have to look forward to other than fire pit next month?
Fire pits next month. I know there is something else I'm missing for next month, but I can't come up with what it is off the top of my head. And then, and you already mentioned the locker project, which is the big one that is at the top of our minds. So that's what I'm aware of right now.
Okay, very good. All right, with that, it's not even 8:30 yet. How lucky are we in July? Light agenda. So I entertain a motion.
I think we should have Bob make the motion.
Bob, make the motion.
I move we adjourn the meeting.
Second?
It's been moved and supported to adjourn the meeting. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries, meeting is adjourned.